What's up, team? Today we're going to multiply polynomials. Check the learning target down here. It says I can multiply two binomials together using either the FOIL or the box method. We're going to discuss all of that today. So multiplying binomials is really just an exercise in careful distribution. So let's review distribution we've seen before we kick it up a notch. So if we have 2 times the quantity of 2x minus 11, we know that this is saying 2 times everything inside the parentheses. It's not just 2 times the first chunk or the second chunk. It's 2 times each of the chunks separately. So we would take the 2, multiply it by the 2x, then we take the 2 and multiply it by the negative 11. We need both pieces, otherwise it's incomplete. So 2 times 2x, of course, is 4x, and then 2 times negative 11 is negative 22. This is done. We've distributed the 2 and multiplied it by the quantity of 2x minus 11. What we're going to be doing today, it's the same thing, we're just doing twice as much of it. Here it is. So instead of having just 2 out here, we're having the quantity of x plus 2. And then just for the sake of this example, I kept this second one the same. They're both 2x minus 11, so we can compare a little bit here. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this x, and we're going to multiply it by both chunks over here. And then we're going to take the 2 and multiply it by both chunks over here. We can't just take just the x or just the 2. We have to, basically we're multiplying everything by everything else. So we're going to take the x, multiply it by 2x, take the x, multiply it by negative 11. Let's do that first. So x times 2x, well, coefficients 1 times 2 is just 2, x times x is x squared. Then we have x times negative 11, which is negative 11x. Okay, now we need to distribute our 2. We're done with the x. We need to distribute our 2. So we're going to do 2 times 2x and 2 times negative 11. So 2 times 2x, well, 2 times 2 is 4, and then we have the x. 2 times negative 11 is negative 22. Now we have this polynomial, 4 terms, but 2 of them are alike. So let's combine those. 2x squared. We have a negative 11x plus 4, so that turns into a negative 7x, and the minus 22 is still there. So there's some similarities here. The negative 22 is the same. And you'll notice here, actually, the second chunk here, the 4x minus 22, that's what we had over there. And then this first chunk came exclusively from this x. But we had to combine the whole thing for this second piece. So this is essentially it. I call it double distribution. I don't think that's a mathy term. So if you go to another class, I don't know that they'd understand that. But that's the way I think of it. You're multiplying or distributing the x, and then you're distributing the 2. Okay, I want to show you a couple different methods. They're not necessarily tricks. They're just methods that might help keep this a little bit cleaner so you don't miss any steps. So that is what's coming your way next. Okay, as promised, 2 methods. First one here is called FOIL. Second one's the box method. Let's focus on the FOIL one first. FOIL is an acronym. You're going to hear it a lot. It's a very common acronym. It's kind of like, ASAP or something like that. It's something that's very commonly used among folks who have taken algebra before. So it stands for first, outer, inner, last, and that reminds us the order of which we should do our distribution. And the reason that this order makes sense is because it's going to keep things in standard form, and it's going to keep it nicely organized so we multiply all the pieces we need to multiply, but we don't forget anything. So let's practice on this one. We have these 2 binomials, 5x plus 1 times the quantity of 3x minus 7. If we follow what our acronym says here, we're going to multiply the first terms together first. So here, the first term is 5x. Here, the first term is 3x. So if we're foiling, first thing we're going to do is 5x times 3x. 5 times 3 is 15. X times x is x squared. So we get 15x squared. That's our first terms being multiplied by one another. Now the outer terms, those are the ones on the outsides. So that's going to be 5x times our negative 7. Well, 5 times negative 7 is negative 35. And we cannot forget the x, that's still there. Great. Inner terms. So we did the ones on the far outside, let's do the ones on the inside. That's going to be the 1 and the 3x. So 1 times 3x is 3x. And the last terms, that's going to be the 1 and the negative 7 in this case. So all the terms on the far right inside their respective parentheses. 1 times negative 7 is minus 7. From here, again, combine my terms, and we're done. So the 15x squared stays. Negative 35x plus 3x. Well, it's super negative, and then we're adding, so we're getting a little bit closer to 0. It's going to be a little less negative. So this is going to be minus 32x minus 7. And the product of these two binomials is this trinomial, 15x squared minus 32x minus 7. It's the FOIL method. Here's the box method. I chose to do the same two binomials so we can compare and see the differences, see the similarities. The box method it's one for folks that are a little bit more visual. So with this method, we're going to assign each of these terms a spot in the box. So I'm going to take this 5x plus 1, and I'm going to assign the 5x is a spot right here. This is the column of the 5x. And then over here, the 1, this is the column of the 1. And then we're going to do the same thing in the rows over here. So I'm going to put my 3x. The 3x gets the top row, and the negative 7 gets the bottom row. Be extra careful with the negatives. If you have a negative, you need to keep it. This one doesn't have anything because it's positive. Of course, if there's no sign there, we assume it's positive. Now, to use this method, we just multiply the two numbers that share the same box. So for example, the 5x, this column belongs to the 5x, so it gets to use both of these boxes. This 3x gets to use both of these boxes because the top row belongs to the 3x. So the two terms that meet in this box are the 5x and the 3x. 5 times 3 is 15. X times x is x squared. So that's what we'd write inside our box here. Moving to the right, 3x still gets to use this box, but now it's going to share the box with the 1. So 3x times 1 is 3x. Let's move to the bottom row. Negative 7 times 5x, well, that's negative 35x. And then negative 7 times the 1, we get negative 7. At this point, we're exactly in the same place we were right here. We just did it a little differently, but we did the same exact math. We multiplied the same things by each other. This is just another way to represent the stuff. So from here, combining the like terms, we have 15x squared, and then we have two terms with x in them. Negative 35x plus 3x in this case is going to be negative 32x yet again minus 7. We landed at the same result, two different methods. Really the math is the same, the calculation's all the same, it's just two different ways of looking at it. I think this way is quicker in general. This way is going to help us, I think in the short term, it's easier to see. Also, this way is going to help us when we start to factor, because there's going to be a box method that we're going to utilize. So I encourage you to be familiar with both, but pick your favorite one and utilize that one as we move forward multiplying binomials. All right, that's it. Check out the practice problems. Let me know if you have questions. You got this.